Hey guys, Justin from MyOunces here. Today I'm going to walk you through one of the fastest growing gold and silver portfolio trackers on the market. Whether you're using a spreadsheet, a notebook, or you're not tracking your stack at all, this video will show you how easy it is to organize your collection with MyOunces. Before we jump in, there's a few things you should know. First, MyOunces is 100% private. Your portfolio is stored locally on your computer. We never see your holdings. We never see your purchases. We never see your personal information. Second, there is no account to create and there's no monthly subscriptions. MyOunces Pro is a one-time purchase, but anyone can start using it today for free. And finally, most of what you're about to see wasn't built by me sitting in a room by myself. It was built from feedback from real stackers. Hundreds of people have shared their ideas, reported bugs, suggested features. And many of the tools you'll see today exist because someone in the community took the time to send feedback. So let's jump right in. Go ahead and hit Launch App. The first thing you'll see when you open MyOunces is the dashboard. I've already populated this portfolio just so we have something to look at. And right away you can see we have our total melt value, our market value, our cost basis, our gain and loss. We can see our allocation here below or view it by breakdown. If you're a collector of Goldbacks or Silverbacks, this will automatically fill in when you add those to the collection. And then down below, we have our top holdings and recent activity. Market values and cost basis, gain and loss, all this information will automatically update using the live spot prices. So you'll always have an up-to-date estimate of what your collection is worth. Now let's actually get into adding a product by clicking Add to Stack over here. Now, when you first join MyOunces and you're ready to get your stack in here, this is where you're going to spend most of your time. So I want to show you how easy it is. MyOunces currently supports gold, silver, junk, pre-33s, platinum, palladium, copper, and the ability to add custom products. So for this first example, let's do something simple. We'll click gold coins. We're going to select Buffalo. We can see it here, or we could have searched for it. And on this page is our order entry. Most of these details are optional, but we'll go ahead and set our quantity at 1. We'll enter our price paid. We'll say we bought this back a couple years ago, $36.26. We'll set a date on that. I would say September 9th, 2025. And we'll go ahead and hit continue. Now on this page, we could just simply add it to our stack, or we could fill out these additional information that's here. The coin years, the grade, if you want to list where you bought it, what your invoice number, all this is optional. You can leave a note, you can leave tags. And if you don't fill it out when you enter it, you can always come back and edit it later. So let's go ahead and click Add to Stack, and we'll get the option to either add another or view our dashboard. Now back on the dashboard, our total melt has changed. Our cost basis has adjusted. Our gain and loss has adjusted, and our total ounces has gone up. So from here, I'm going to take you over to holdings. This is where you'll see your individual transactions. You'll be able to make edits and use all the features of filtering and looking at your different tags and columns. So to get there, we're going to go ahead and click holdings. Now on the holdings tab, you're going to have holdings and transactions. Holdings is going to be where all of your individual products are grouped together. So if you had 30 Silver Eagles, but maybe you did that over multiple transactions, it's going to put that together here. Same thing with any other product. You have filters up here to look at just your gold, your silver, maybe your pre-33s. You also have some tags in here if you want to filter by tags, which we'll talk about shortly on the next tab. And if you want to adjust the columns on here, you can do that as well. And if we head over to transactions, this is where you'll see all of the individual orders. You can sort any of these columns. So if we go by date, we can go to our oldest transaction or our most recent. We also have a detailed view. The detailed view allows you to see those extra fields that you filled out when placing your first entry or any entry after that. So what year the coin is, what the mint is, which dealer you purchased it from, if you own it, or maybe it's on lease, your invoice number, the safe you're keeping it in. So any information you want to add. You can also simply do that with columns as well. All of those columns are here for you to add. And then we do have a whole selection of filters. So if you wanted to see just by dealer, let's say it's SD Bullion. We can see all of our orders from SD Bullion, or if we wanted to see it by tags, I want to see stack 1. This is my stack 1 product, and simply just clear out these filters over here. And then if you're a pro user, you can actually export this into Excel sheet. It will look almost identical to this, but it will bring in all of the columns and everything that you have filled out, so you can look at it in Excel sheet and do what you wish with it from there. So that is the holdings and transactions. Next, we're going to add another couple products just to show you what a custom product looks like, and then we'll move into some of the other features in the account. So let's return to add to stack, and we're going to go down here and select quick entry, which is one of the more powerful features inside of MyOunces. As I said earlier, we have over 270 products in the database, but there is thousands more that exist out there. Everything from limited editions and bullion jeweler and private mint products. So anything you want to keep track of, you can do that here as a custom product. So I'm going to just go ahead and use an example of a product I picked up recently for my daughter. We'll say Perth Mint SpongeBob 1 gram bar. I'm going to go ahead and select gold. I'm going to leave the purity alone. We do have the option, especially when you're using jewelry here, to set the purity on that. That is a 1 gram bar, so we'll go ahead and put that at 1 gram. Yes, there was a pretty steep premium on it of $3.31. I bought that just a few days ago, and I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Now down here, I'm going to go ahead and add the Perth Mint as a mint, and I don't have the product in front of me, so I'll come back later and add the serial number and the mintage, which I think is 500 on it. I'll just double check. And for this one, let's create a new tag, daughters, hit enter, add to stack. So let's go back to our holdings and transactions and just sort by custom. And there we can see our custom product right here. If we were to go ahead and click on it, we can then edit this product. And let's say I was wrong about the mintage. Maybe it's 1000 and the serial number I have on that is 273. We'll go ahead and hit save. And now that product has been updated. I can see the P&L, no surprise, heavy premium on these types of products. And that's it on custom products. So next, we're going to move into a few different sections. But if you're just getting started with MyOunces, so far everything I showed you is exactly what you'd want to focus on originally. And then we'll go through the Intelligence Hub and Goldbacks and the wish list and a very cool feature called the Legacy Center, which you can skip ahead to if you'd like in this video, and settings on how you back up your stack and how you can adjust some of the other settings. So let's go ahead and continue, and we'll head over to Intelligence Center. Now, we're not going to spend too much time in the Intelligence Center, but I want to show you the 4 different sections quickly. The first one is the market, where you can view what's going on in the market today, or you can go back, in fact, over 100 years with custom timeframes on gold and silver. And then we have a few years on platinum, palladium. Down below, we also have some key ratios and spot in common units. So just a quick reference calculator for you if you'd like that. We're going to skip over to the GSR for a second, and then we'll come back to my stack. The GSR is the GSR. Everybody knows it. This is more just of a fun section where you can see the current GSR, historical data on the GSR. This chart also goes back pretty far, I think almost 100 years, or actually even further than 100 years on the GSR. And by the way, all the charts in here can be expanded. And then down below, you have a GSR scenario tool, show you what a target GSR, what it would take for it to be, let's say at 80 today. Spot silver would have to either be at 51 or gold would have to be at 47.81. You also have a rebalancing calculator for your own portfolio if you wanted to be closer to 40. Based on what's in my portfolio for this video, I would have to either buy 121 ounces of silver or sell 3 ounces of gold to reach that target ratio. Up here, we have a case for metal. This is just more economic data, just something fun to take a look at every once in a while. I'll let you guys scroll through this all on your own. And then lastly is your My Stack section. So this is going to be all about your portfolio, similar to the dashboard, but a lot more information. So for instance, if we go back 5 years, we can see how my portfolio has been trending for the last 5 years, all the different areas I purchased at. Down below, some stack highlights, our stack velocity, how often we're buying, what we're on track for. If you are using tags and you want to see your portfolio by tags, you can do that. You also have metal allocation. You can set goal targets down here. It'll show you when you're on pace to complete them. And then your best performer and your worst performer. So that's the Intelligence Center. And then next, we're going to head over to the Goldbacks and Silverbacks, quickly cover those. Jumping over to Goldbacks, very similar process to adding metals. You're going to go ahead and click Add Goldbacks, select the location, select the year and the denomination, and just go through that process. I've already got some in here, so we'll just look. Right now, we can see all of the locations that I have Goldbacks in, how much I've collected, how many total notes, my exchange value currently. And if I click into an individual location, I can see that a little bit further. And just like other areas, you can edit this at any time. We also have back up here, we have our mintage. This is all provided by Quiver. Mintage is the total population of a particular Goldback and location, along with lots of filters that you can use for it. You can see your own stack across the scale as far as what you're holding and what your mintage is and how rare you have, and a fun little Goldback map that shows you just kind of a visual of where your collection's at. Similar for the Silverbacks, same kind of layout here, same kind of process to add them, and same mintage charts there to use. So that's the Goldback and Silverback collection. I've done other videos on these, so we're not going to spend much time on those. Next, we're going to hop into the Legacy Center, something that I am particularly proud of. Now we're in the Legacy Center because most of us spend years building our stack. But if something was to happen to us, would our family know? Do they know what we own? Do they know where it's stored? Do they know how to identify it? Do they understand the collection? Probably not. So this was built for you to give something to your heirs and make sure they're properly informed. It's going to include a personal letter from you, your trusted contacts, your storage information, and some practical guidance. Every section in here is optional. And I've done a longer video on this. And I just want to remind you that none of this information is stored by MyOunces. This is all held on your personal device. So let's just scroll through this. The first section is your message to your family. Maybe why you built the stack, what it means to you, what you hope they'll do with it, whatever you'd like to say to them. Down below, who is your trusted contact. So in this case, as an example, I put a coin dealer that I buy from, that I've been buying from for 8 years. My attorney, who has a copy of the will and knows where the safety deposit box key is for some of my collection. I've provided instructions of where everything is kept, what branch it's at, who has access to it. And then if there's any supporting documents, receipts, whether they're with my collection or not, how to locate those. Your portfolio won't show on this screen, but when you do the preview and print, it will be there. You can also leave a note of which items mean the most to you. Maybe it's something you absolutely don't want them to sell. Maybe it's something your first purchase. So a little note of why these particular products mean a lot to you. And then down below is an error guide. Now you can add your own, but what this is essentially supposed to be is guidance. So for instance, reminders not to sell in a panic. And you can edit all this information on your own. What's the difference between bullion and collectibles, or why they shouldn't clean their old coins. So you select the ones you want to include, maybe some of them, maybe none of them. Maybe you want to inform them of what's the difference between spot price and how premiums work, some tips on how not to get ripped off, how to keep the collection secure. And again, if you want to write your own tips, you're more than welcome to do that. And then when you're ready to view it, you click preview, and this will be what the report looks like. You know, your letter, your portfolio at a glance, the values today when you ran this versus what they might be when somebody actually accesses your collection, your contacts, the documents, the full portfolio broken down by product type. If you are collecting Goldbacks or Silverbacks, that will be in here as well. And then again, the guide, if you selected all 16 options or written your own notes, those would be here as well. So when you're ready, if you don't have any edits to make and you're ready to go ahead and hit print and save, you can do that. If you want to make changes, you go back to the editor. Now, every time you make changes to your portfolio, if you come back here, it will let you know if your portfolio has changed. Maybe you've removed products, maybe you've added new products. So you'll want to probably do this once you feel like your collection is exactly where you want it. And if you do add products in the future, no big deal. You just come back in and edit those. So this is the Legacy Center. So far, the feedback has been fantastic, and I've already printed my own out and put it with my documents, but I'm still stacking, so I'll probably have to come back and update this over time. So that's Legacy Center. Next, we're just going to cover settings, keeping your MyOunces portfolio secure, and we'll go from there. Now we are in the settings of MyOunces. Most of this is self-explanatory, but you do have some different features down here that you can turn on or off. You can adjust your tags. You can set your default columns in here. But most importantly, this is where you actually manage your backup. So MyOunces doesn't store any of your information, as we've discussed. So it's important that you back up by downloading a JSON file from time to time onto your computer. Now, the app is going to nudge you after you make a certain amount of changes to do that. And if you were to ever clear out your computer, clear out your data, you could go in here and just click import, and it would automatically bring in that file for you. Now, I suggest just turning on auto backup, maybe set it to every 10 changes, meaning every 10 products you make or every 10 edits. If that's too much for you because you're doing a lot, you can go ahead and change it to 25 or 50. Auto backup will just download the file for you after a certain threshold is hit. Now over here to the right, we have the ability to import or export a template. And this would be for adding products in bulk. So if you've got a big stack and you've gotten comfortable with using MyOunces, you can actually go ahead and download a template for either your metals or the Goldback, and then fill it out and actually upload that file, and it will all fill in for you. And lastly, if you wanted to clear out the entire MyOunces database, you can do that by hitting clear all. It will wipe it off of your local storage. But if you're going to use that feature, just make sure you have exported a backup so that you can bring everything back in when you're ready. So that's MyOunces. The goal has been always very simple. I wanted to build something that the community could trust, something that was private, something that was easy to use, that was constantly being improved. And so if you do have any ideas, or if you would like to suggest features, I genuinely would love to hear them. Again, most of everything you saw today in MyOunces was built from user feedback. We've pushed over 100 changes over the last years. You can simply reach out to me through the feedback section over here, or justin@myounces.com. So give it a try. It's free to get started today. You can add up to 7 unique products. If you outgrow that, you can go pro. So there'll be a link in the description. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.